Hi, so in the last video we learned the basic trigonometry ratios. So we learned that in a right triangle, if this is the angle theta, then the sine of that angle would be the opposite side to that angle over the hypotenuse of the triangle. The cosine of the angle theta would be the adjacent side, the side next to the angle, over the hypotenuse of the triangle, and the tan of theta would be the opposite divided by the adjacent. So that's the basic functions in trigonometry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an example. So let's say we have a right triangle, and this side is 3, this side is 4, and this side is 5, and this is the angle theta, and we're asked to find the 3 basic trig ratios. So what would sine of theta be? Well, that's opposite over hypotenuse. In this case, the opposite is 4, and the hypotenuse is 5. So the sine of the angle theta equals 4/5. And then the cosine of the angle theta would equal 3/5, because it's a over h, or 3 over 5. And then the tan of theta would equal 4/3, because it's opposite, which is 4, divided by 3, which is adjacent. So that's an example of finding the trig ratios or functions for a triangle. So now I want to do one more quick example. Say we have a right, that doesn't look like a right triangle, but let's pretend it is. So let's say this side is 13, this side is 12, this side is 5. Then once again, let's do sine of theta, which would equal 12/13. So this is theta. So sine of theta would equal 12 over 13, which is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of theta would equal 5 over 13, and tangent of theta would equal 12 over 5. So that's for that, how to find the trig ratios for that triangle using just this formula right here. And let me do one more trickier example, and that will be it for this video. So I'm going to do something different. So this is still a right triangle, but now I'm going to make this top angle theta. And let's say that we have, let's have this side be 8, and this side be 6, and this side be 10. So now we have to find the trig ratios. But in this case, the opposite to the angle theta is actually this bottom side. So in this case, the opposite is actually 6, but the hypotenuse is still 10, because the hypotenuse is opposite the right angle. So the sine of theta would be opposite over hypotenuse, but in this case, since theta is on the top of the triangle instead of the side, that means the sine of theta is 6 over 10, or if we simplify, we get 3/5. So the sine of theta is 3/5, and then we have to find the cosine of theta, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. In this case, adjacent is 8, and hypotenuse is 10, so it would be 8/10, or 4/5. So cosine of theta is 4/5. And finally tangent of theta, which is opposite over adjacent. So opposite is 6, adjacent is 8. So tangent of theta equals 3/4. So that was a little trickier example, but all you have to remember is that that sine of theta is opposite the angle over hypotenuse. So all we did was we switched where the opposite and adjacent sides are. So that was just a little trickier example, and I hope you like this video.